Blazen. Can a Humble Horse Be a Hero? Copyright 2025. By Natalie Toter Brinley. No part of this book may be copied without the author's consent.
Chapter 1. Somewhere in Another World.
It was not easy for a young boy and girl as they learned to help father chop wood. The boy tightly gripped his little axe as he swung against the small log, splintering the wood in two. A fresh scent filled the air. The girl, with her blonde hair tied back in a ribbon, threw the wood into the quartz stone fireplace. She loved gazing at the sparkling rocks. "That should do it," the boy said to his younger sister. "Now we just have to wait for the food to get here." "I'm getting hungry," the girl spoke up. "I wonder when delivery will come." "It will come at the right time. We just have to be patient." He took out his toy wooden cart and rolled it across the marble floor. "I painted this cart orange and red. Cool colors, huh?" "Right you are," she said, picking up a needle and thread. "I think I will make a new dress for my dolly." "What about the stuffed horse you made?" "Oh yeah. I still need to make the wings, but wouldn't I need feathers? They are so hard to make. After I finish, I was thinking about giving it as a present to the little girl, Ladkeef. Her mom and dad must be very busy. I have not seen them lately, have you? I think she could use another toy." "That's very kind of you. Would it be a cart horse if it had no wings? You know, pulling the cart along. I wonder if the starlings would bring food that way." "You know, I never thought of that," she chuckled. Their mother dusted and cleaned their marble floor, but thankfully, she also wove a rug for their play and hard work. Their sofas and chairs were made from colorful, woven fibers. "Perhaps I should go out and gather feathers from one of those," the girl began. "You mean the pearly herotros?" "Yes, that large bird. Remember the ones we saw at the river last week? They were magnificent." Soon a stamping sound of hooves interrupted their talking. They leaped up in excitement. "Mom! Dad!" the boy and girl cried out as they stepped out of their stone house. "Come look. The horses are here." Lilies and hibiscus blossoms blew back as the winged horses, carrying baskets of food, spiraled around, and one landed in front of their house. He was a brown horse with a white blaze on his head. His name was Blazen. "Thank you," the girl and boy said to Blazen, patting his neck. "No problem at all," Blazen said. "It is my pleasure to meet your needs. Thank you so much. I enjoy your petting, but if you don't mind, I must move on to my next appointed family." Happily, the two children gazed at the bread loaf, cheese, strawberries, grapes, apples, oranges, carrots, squash, and other fruit inside the basket. They brought it to their parents, who cut up and boiled the vegetables for their next lunch. In this other world, the winged horses were called starlings. They helped care for the people living there. Meanwhile, Blazen returned to the starling warehouse for the next basket, but Guif, the grey horse, stopped him. "After we are all done, I need to hold a meeting. Something is terribly wrong." "What's wrong?" he replied. "Have you checked all the families? The Nali family, the Dili family, the Themen family, and the Samaru family are all right, but I have seen no sign of the Acristo family." "Oh dear. I just hope we are not making some terrible mistake. The great High King might be angry with us." "As long as we do our jobs," Blazen said. "I think not. Your plan for a meeting is our next best option." After working, Blazen met up with Guif, Stargazer, and Dasher. He asked Guif, "When did you last see this family?" "For one whole week I have stopped at their door and called them, but there was no answer. I even left one basket of food, but it sat there, untouched. I had to remove it." "Have you checked the sacred temple?" Stargazer asked. "They often take turns as curator and guard of the Golden Tree of Life." "We are well aware of that, but I had not seen either of them at the temple," Guif replied. "If no one is caring for the temple, this is even more dreadful," Dasher gasped. Blazen had an idea. "Tomorrow is my rest day. I will go with you to the house and we will find out any clues, but one of us must watch over at the temple." The next day, Both Blazen and Guif landed by a carpet full of daisies in front of the brick and gemstone house. At the side, olive trees, fern trees, and rainbow-colored beech trees swayed in the wind. They hoofed the blue door and peeked through the window, but just as Guif said, there was no response. "Now you see it," Guif said. "What else can we do? We can see the great prophet who speaks on behalf of the High King, maker of all things. Maybe he might have a word for us." Slowly, the starlings crept away from the house toward the forest. They sniffed the gigantic red buds as they walked between the tall conifers of blue and green, flowering willows, rose vines, and everlasting magnolias. Yellow birds and long-tailed blue birds flew overhead. Cantering toward a crude trail, they continued their conversation. "He is hard to get to," Guif said reluctantly as he nibbled berries from a fruit-bearing lilac. "Can't we ourselves say a prayer? Or we might stop and listen for a still small voice," Blazen said. "Don't you hear something? Is it the rustling of the wind on those trees? I do believe I hear it, too." A rarlet, a long-eared, bushy-tailed talking rodent, appeared from outside the bushes. These creatures crept so quietly, it was hard for others to notice. "Hey," he whispered. "Come a little closer." "So you were that still, small voice," Blazen said. "What gives?" The rarlet commanded, "Keep quiet and follow me." "There is something very suspicious," he observed, lightly hoofing the ground. The tiny rarlet jumped further into the deep forest. "Keep your voices down," he whispered. "Someone may be watching us." "Who?" Blazen asked in a whisper. "Just listen." Blazen and Guif heard the peaceful continual flow of falling water. The birds of the forest were singing sad songs, not happy ones. The rarlet led them to a cliff overlooking the great falls of the lively river. "Look down," he pointed. At the bottom of the falls, both starlings gasped at what they saw, a small boat, smashed to pieces. "Was that hat their boat?" Guif asked. The rarlet nodded as he frowned. Why did they do that?" Blazen asked. "I don't know," the rarlet replied. "I saw them in their boat, headed toward the fall. When I tried to scream out, 2 hands grasped my mouth. I fought with all my might, but when the thing released me, it was too late. I was horrified to see their plunge." Blazen and Guif shed huge, horse tears. "I heard that they had a little girl named Ladkeef," Guif said. "A shy, little girl. I did not see her much, but she must have gone down with them. Poor little lass." They planted a lily near the foot of the waterfall for a memorial. "Now get me a bucket so I could water it," Guif commanded. Blazen got up and flew over a few hills toward the temple. He knew nearby he could find some tools at the shed, including a bucket. On his way, his eyes caught a person. He quickly turned around. It was a girl in a pink and orange flowered dress that looked ragged and worn. Her long, unkempt black hair flew in a tangle. She was crying. "Mom. Dad. I am lost and so hungry." Blazen lightened himself on the ground by the small girl, stood still and observed. She looked about 5 years old. Who was she? Could it be? "Are you Ladkeef?" Blazen asked. She nodded as tears fell down her cheeks. "Guif and I were also searching for your parents. You did not go with them then?" "No," she sobbed. "I was afraid of the river." "Tell me what happened," Blazen said. "They said they met a red frog that told them ahead on the river was a valley with pure gold in it, and the gold should belong in the temple. They told me, the prophet told everyone long ago not to boat on the river because it was dangerous. Then the frog told them not to worry as long as their boat was sturdy enough. They tried it and said, 'It's no problem. We can handle these rough waters without toppling over. We will be back soon.' So I sat in front of the house and waited. I was scared when the sun started to set, so I went out to look for them. Then I met the red frog. He said, 'They are down in the valley and enjoying it so much. They never want to return.' I continued to follow the river when the night came. I lost my way, and I lost them." "What nonsense." Blazen buffed. "Come. Are you willing to hop on my back? I will show you something. Will you help me find them?" Lad Keith asked as she slowly mounted his back and held tightly onto his mane. Blazen flew up into the air, but not too high. He landed by the waterfall. "See the broken wood," he said. "Is that their boat?" Lad Keith drew in her breath and nodded. "I don't know who this red frog is, but he sounds like he is certainly up to no good. He lied to your mom and dad." Tears fell down Lad Keith's face. I know, Blazen said. "Come here." He placed his large head on her neck and they wept together. Blazen grew angry. "We are going to find that red frog and bring justice to this matter. Meanwhile, the other starlings will provide you with food."